to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any changes to the agenda or any questions? Just need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Chris, second by Dusty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay. Approved. Public comment.
Anybody?
Tori might have something to say, but I don't know if she wants to turn on, so.
I'm not sure on the 4-day.
Yes.
Should be your chance to say something.
It's your chance. I don't know, it's your chance to say something, Coach, on the 4 days.
If you have anything to say, speak now or forever hold your. Anybody?
I'm Mrs. Parra, and I really appreciate the fact that this was brought up because I think 4 days a week is really beneficial. I think for fatigue for the teachers at the end of the week. I'm not sure which day we're gonna have off, if it's Monday or Friday, but either one, it'll be nice. And for the students as well, and they could take the time off and maybe catch up with their classwork and stuff like that.
Awesome, thank you. Anybody else?
Tori, did you want to say or not?
It's public comment.
Yeah, it's public comment. It's for.
On the board.
Okay.
I have lots of comments. Not today.
Moving on then. First item, new business is the 4-day week.
Okay, so members of the board, so thank you very much for being here. I know that this is a special board meeting and thank you for your time. I know that you have better things to do. We're going to try to expedite this rather quickly so all of you can attend the FFA banquet. So you do have the PowerPoint. Oh, go ahead, and if you don't mind changing it. Okay, so we have the slides right over there. So if there's anybody online, they can also be able to see them. So basically, what we are doing is we are exploring a new path for student success and then, community growth. And our proposal here is, transforms how we deliver education while we are strengthening our community. So the rationale why we need to consider a 4-day week. First of all, for Hagerman, teacher retention, and that is very important because we really don't have much to offer other than we do have the small class sizes, and Hagerman is Hagerman. Hagerman is a wonderful community. However, for teacher retention, we do have, our teacher turnover rates stand at 18%. That's on a normal year. Sometimes it's much, much higher. And the state average is only 12%. So we definitely want to be able to retain the best teachers, and we want to be able to attract the best teachers to come to Hagerman. So a 4-day schedule will help attract and keep the quality educators in our community. Now, as far as cost efficiency, so the projection is that we will be able to save 15% utility savings on Fridays when buildings remain closed or Mondays. So these savings can be redirected to the classrooms, resources, and the programs. We will be able to save as well, not just on the utilities, but also cafeteria cost, as well as transportation, etc. And then, very important, it's the well-being, focus. So reduce burnout. Mrs. Parra, she just mentioned that. So reduce burnout for students and staff, which leads to better learning outcomes. So the extra day will allow for recovery, planning, and personal growth. So we do have some potential benefits, of course, the academic achievement and student life. So with the 4-day, our plan is to be able to increase the attendance rate. So schools with the 4-day week report 3 to 5% attendance increases, which that will, help us significantly here. So students miss fewer days. And then, enriched learning. So the 5th day, it opens doors for internships, and we've been talking about having students in Ms. Dink's class that they have to go out and do community service. They can definitely be able to do that on the 5th day. And then also for the CTE, if some of the students want to do an internship and be able to work, then they'll be able to do this, as well as some of the extended projects that need to be done. And family benefits, so families, they save anywhere from $500 to $1,000 annually on childcare. However, we don't have a child care facility other than the one in Dexter. So, but this will, it's more quality time together, which strengthens the families. Now, of course, we understand that there's some potential challenges in childcare and food security. So childcare, we can have partnerships with local organizations which will provide affordable 5th day options for families. That was one of the concerns that many of the families express, that they don't have childcare for Friday. However, my proposal is that because we are a community schools, so my proposal is, and this will be only based on need, then community schools will kick in and be able to have I can't call it a babysitting services, but it will be tutoring services for Fridays, and that will be based on the need only. So we probably have to have some kind of application where the families will fill out the application, and the students will be selected only if, the parents need the services. So possibly anywhere from 15 to 20 students. We just don't want to open it to everybody because that will just defeat the purpose. But I think we'll be able to hire a couple of teachers that would want to be able to do Fridays, and then we'll be able to do this and help us out with that. Now, the food security, we had several parents who they expressed the concern about what the kids, will be eating on Fridays. I was talking to Celia, and I have also been talking to many of the other schools that are already a 4-day week, and I asked them, okay, do you send home a sack lunch with the kids? And some of them, they do have, it's called a backpack program, that what they do is they'll send home peanut butter, bread, and things that the kids can eat at home. However, they don't necessarily send a sack lunch with every student, because really that will not be a savings anymore. Most of the students, what they will do is they'll just go and throw it in the trash. So, however, I did express to the parents that were there, and they had concerns if they really need a sack of lunch. I don't think the cafeteria staff will be able to, they won't say no. So they will be able to provide that sack of lunch for them. And then some of the parents, they also expressed concerns about longer school days. So, these days will be restructured schedules, will include breaks and engaging activities to maintain focus. This is something else that I spoke with Celia, our cafeteria manager, and because the plan is for the kids to be here a little bit longer during the day. So, they will be getting a snack sometime about 2 o'clock, 2:30, so that they can endure the day. So the day for the students, the projected or proposal is for the students to be here from 7:55 in the morning until 3:55 every day. High school, possibly about 4 o'clock, because we need to have staggered times for the busing. We have to let the elementary go first, and then the high school students, which will be about 5 minutes later. No, not really, nothing major. Now, some of the financial implications, savings and reinvestment. So there's a $75,000 annual savings. Again, it will be lower transportation costs, the utility, substitute teachers costs, and a lot of for example, some of the games, and A-Rod, if you want to go ahead and talk about this, like the games on Fridays. And then sometimes we just don't have transportation, et cetera, and
So a lot of, if you look at like a Friday game, I'm gone and I require a sub for a couple of class periods still. Coach Scott's gone, he requires a sub. We may have another assistant coach that's in house for the girls too, and they probably require a sub as well. And that's for basketball. Tournaments, we might be gone all day on the Thursday, might be gone all day on the Friday. And actually districts are pretty good about travel on the Thursday, but that Friday is kind of up in the air. So, Fridays we're gone all day. If we have Friday off, we don't have to get a sub all day. Track, we have 5 teachers or certified staff that would leave during the day. And, track meets start we have to be there at 2:00 for the scratch meeting. Most venues are an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So, you do the math, and that's leaving anywhere from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's 5 subs, give or take, depending on the magnitude of the meet. So most meets are on Friday at the end of the week, and having that Friday off would mean that we don't have to pay those subs for those events.
okay, and then, of course, all the savings will go back into the educational resources and teacher development. Change the page, Charles. Okay, so now we're in the school year 24-25. So we already had surveys. There was a couple of surveys that went out. And then we had a parent meeting. So if you look at this page that you have, I gave you a copy, this one right here. This one actually, it is the digital survey. It's a copy of the digital survey. So as you can see here, we had 68 of the parents who returned this, 68 parents voted yes, 13 voted no, and then 5 were very neutral. Of course, we wanted to reach out to more parents, so we also send out a hard copy. And the hard copy, it looks like, well, we got a little bit less. Again, some of these parents had already filled it out, and that was an indication that if they had already filled out the digital copy, they didn't have to return the hard copy. So for the hard copy, we had 57 yes, 23 no, and 10 neutral. So that gives us a total of 125 yes. That was 31%. Currently, we have 405 students. So that's 31% yes. 36 total no, so that's a 9%. And then 15 parents, were neutral, and that's only a 4%. I wish we had 100% participation, but unfortunately, that doesn't happen. However, I would like for you to look at some of the comments. And if you turn to the back page, so this page right here, it came straight from the comments, some of them from the comments from the digital and some from the hard copy. And this one is, we have the pros and the cons. So here's the benefits that were shared by the parents. Oh, that was your job at the
That was my job at the.
Yours and Andrew's.
And just a little thing about the survey, I think the numbers may be a little misleading because they did 1 per household, not necessarily 1 per child in our district. And so some people may have multiple children across our district and only did the survey 1 time versus doing it 5 or 6 times. So we probably had an opportunity to find out how many children they had in the district when we didn't ask that question. But anyways, the surveys, I think that the benefits that parents were looking forward to is that maybe it would be less time that their child would have to miss school due to appointments, or if they were out of town for whatever reason, more time for their family to do family activities or rest, help prevent teachers and student burnout, opportunity for better work-life balance, to support the scheduling needs for families that share custody of children, especially if they have to travel to another town for those custody arrangements. It gives an extra day in there for that travel and that to happen for kids who have weekend visitation with other parents. Potential to improve behavior and motivate students. And some of these are a little repetitive. Positive feedback, I think that was one of the things that we really like, is that the other schools who have adopted this see a lot of positive things. You guys are well aware that some of the best districts in our state are already on a 4-day week calendar. And they have some of the best test results, so that has to speak for something. And then more time for students to work on homework and reduce their stress over having to do so much, especially for our really involved students. Do you want me to also talk about the concerns? Okay. The concerns that the day is going to be longer, and maybe especially for younger kids, a longer school day could be harder on the younger kids. Worries about a shorter summer break or longer school year, a lack of childcare options for 5th day for those parents who work outside the home. Concerns about academic regression, especially for reading and math. Students with IEPs or special needs may be more impacted by a change of this type of schedule. A loss of enrichment activities that we traditionally have on Fridays. Parents feel like there may be a need for more information or data to justify this switch. The possible loss of meals or nutritional support for some students who on the off days who do rely on school for their food. And then some parents were in favor of considering Mondays off instead of Fridays, just due to the way the world works. And sometimes there's a lot of places that are closed on Fridays versus being closed on Mondays. And the concerns about how kids who are here, if we're keeping kids here till 4 o'clock, and the kids who are going to practice and stuff, would they be hungry and have time to get a snack before they have to do their evening activities?
Okay, and some of the frequent, asked questions from the parents were, will school day be longer under the schedule? So, yes. So the plan is to be, the students will come in at 7:55, which that's, the normal time, and they will be exiting at 3:55. So the students, they cannot go over, this is as per PET, they cannot go over 7.5 hours per day. Okay, the staff will be here a little bit longer, and then at a future meeting, I will be, just to get the approval for the staff hours, but currently, so I have for the staff, for example, they will be here from 7:30 in the morning, and they will be here from 7:30 to 4:30, and that with a 30-minute lunch, so that's 8.5 hours. One Friday a month for the staff. The plan is to have the staff here so we could do professional development. And that would be, I have that. So for example, the first one will be, so the plan is to be able to start on July the 28th, and you can see that on the copy of the calendar that I gave you. I cannot give you guys a copy just yet because it's not approved yet. So if you see, the staff will start on July 28th. That it is a week earlier than usual. So staff will be here from 7:30 to 4:30 that day, and that's 8.5 hours. So they'll be here having staff professional development on the 28th, 29th, the 30th. The first day with students will be on the 31st, and then also on the 1st. So that first Friday, the students will be here 2 days a week. That will be the 31st, July 31st, and then August the 1st. The first PD will be in August, and that's also in the well, actually, the PD does not show in the calendar here, but the first PD will be on August the 15th. And again, that's from 7:30 to 1:30, so that's 5.5 hours of PD. And every month we have a PD. So for example, like September, we have Labor Day on September the 1st. So that means that the 4 instructional days will be on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. And then we have the same thing on September the 29th. We have Fair Day, no school. So then the instructional days will be September the 30th, October the 1st, 2nd, and then the 3rd. The next in October, so we actually have no PD day in October, but we do have parent-teacher conferences, and the parent-teacher conferences, those count as professional learning days. In November, as you can see, we have election day, so instructional day will be on the 3rd. And then we have no school on the 4th, November the 4th, but then, there will be school on the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, and that will be the 4 days. And then there is that one, we do have a professional development. It's on the 14th, November the 14th, from 7:30 to 1:30 p.m. In December, there's no school on none of the Fridays, and there's no PD on for December. January, we do have a professional development day. That will be January the 5th. So that means that instructional days will be on the 6th, 7th, 8th, and the 9th. And then we have on the 19th, January the 19th, we have Martin Luther King. So there's no school, but then the kids will be here. Instructional days will be on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and the 23rd. For February, we have parent-teacher conferences on the 13th. So we do have parent-teacher conferences also on the 12th and the 13th, but if you can see it doesn't show on this one here, but the 12th, there's, the staff will be here from 7:30 to 4:30, regular day, and then parent-teacher conferences from 4:30 to 7:30, that's a total of 3 hours, and then the next day from 7:30 to 12:30. So that's an additional 5 hours of, parent-teacher conferences, which also counts as PD. On the 16th, February the 16th, we have President's Day, so there's no school. So that means instructional days will be 17, 18, 19, and the 20th. In March, we have no PD. However, we do have a spring break, and this is the 16th through the 20th. April the 3rd, it's Good Friday. So there's no school on Friday, but then, the instructional days will be Monday through Thursday. And then in May, the last PD, the last instructional day for the students will be on the 21st, May 21st. And PD day for staff will be on the last day, 7:30 to 1:30 p.m. And that will be on the 22nd. And that concludes. So basically, the time is pretty much the same. With that, I stand for questions.
Any questions from this room? So are all the schools that are doing 4 days, are they this mixed as far as, we're out this day, so we're gonna, how are they combating absences on Fridays because, we forgot, we thought we were out Fridays? How are we combating that?
So when the schedule was created, Loving, they are a 4-day. Dexter is now a 4-day, so they also kind of went by with the Loving schedule. So Dexter's schedule and our schedule, the way it's created, it's pretty similar. There's a few differences, but anyways, then other schools that have a 4-day, we kind of mirror it. It's pretty much the same.
Having taught in a 4-day school week, when I taught in Elida for 2 years, it was kind of an understanding, hey, if it's a Monday holiday and we take the Monday holiday, be at school on Friday, because we have to be at school 4 days that week, no matter what for. And I think it's probably gonna take education on our part to make sure kids know that.
If you look at the calendar at the very bottom, it says 154 student days, and then for staff, we have 159 days. That will be and right now, as long as we meet the 1140 hours, we are okay. We actually surpassed that. We have a little bit more than the 1140, and I believe it's like 1157.
We might have wind days. We might need them for the wind.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not, but you never know. Mother Nature, it's very unpredictable. Now, our meeting, it went on a good 3 hours. I thought, for the most part, it was a really good meeting, but it went on forever and, there's legit concerns. Some of the parents have concerns. Some of the parents thought that we're only doing this for the staff, but what about for the kids? And one of them, okay, what about the well-being of the parents? And, it was, we listened to all of their concerns. The only thing I think, and if we are going to do this, it definitely needs to be done. This is the time to do it because it's open. We might not be able to do it next year. And I am very concerned that now with Dexter going to a 4-day, they already approved, there's a possibility that I don't want to lose any of my teachers. And I don't want to lose any of our kids, going to Dexter.
So if we try this
Mhm.
and it doesn't work out, then it'll be pretty easy to go back to a 5-day.
Yes.
But if we don't try this,
We don't know.
there is no going from just saying, hey, we're gonna go to a 4-day, correct?
Correct. And, and those of you that have been here, longer than others, and if you recall, we've tried this before, not going into a 4-day, but the potential of, we looked into it, okay, what do we need to do? But then PET kind of had a halt to it, and they're like, no, it's not going to happen. Now they are being kind of flexible, and they are allowing the school district to do it as long as we meet the 1140 hours. In the future, we don't know what's going to happen. So with this, if you have any more questions, and A-Rod was there, part of the panel, Cody, Mr. Williams will try to answer if you have any questions, any concerns, and
Can I comment? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Okay. I came from Lovington to come and teach here, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And what I was gonna tell you, there's a lot of people, teachers, I try and, because we do have a turnover. And I say, hey, we need this, we need that. The first thing they say, is it 4-day? No, it's 5-day. Oh, I'm looking for a 4-day. Well, come on, I try to sell it, that is. And, that's what I was, because it's happened last year, year before, when we didn't have some of the teachers. And I've been here more than 5 years. And graduated here, and I want to get the teachers here and good teachers. The other thing I was going to tell you, in the middle school, I guess they got surveys too, and they talk with the parents. A lot of them are very excited. They go, I like that I can be off on Friday. I said, no. And I comment to them, no, you're not gonna sleep till noon. No, miss, it's just nice to rest and not feel pressured to do our homework. And that's what they say. And I said, well, we'll see. I said, but that's what you like? Yes. And, because I communicate a lot with them, and I want to hear them. And they asked me, and I said, well, how I feel is I had to go to a lot of doctor's appointments, and I ran out of sick time. Thank goodness for sick bay, and they helped me. And so now I still have to go to, today I went physical therapy, blah, 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 that I can schedule on Friday. And I'm thankful for that, and for this lady that helped me tremendously in that one. So, I'd like y'all to consider it.
That is one of the top 2 questions that we get is, are you a 4-day week? Do you have housing? When we're looking to recruit people, those are the 2 things that those are the 2 questions that we get asked the most. Right, candidates looking at considering it to come work here.
Because I ran out of sick time.
so, we had some questions in regards to staff. And so what I'm trying to do right now is, the staff will be here until 4:30. I was looking at it. Right now, we have where the teachers work 37.5. It's 37 hours, 0.5, weekly. The same thing for teacher assistants. Cafeteria, I believe they have 35, Celia, 35 or 37? What do you have? 37, so it's the same, 37.5. Custodians, 40 hours. Maintenance, they have 40. So I've been, asking, like, for example, Loving, the custodians, they work 9 hours a day, so that's only 36 hours a week, but then they have to be here on Fridays, because Fridays is the day that they could actually do some buffing, the floors or, we can have them work 10-hour shifts. So I don't see, excuse me, I don't see a problem with the cafeteria, and I met with Celia. And next year, the cafeteria, there will be some changes, and they will be, one of the requirements is that in the cafeteria, 50% of the food that is being cooked has to be made from scratch. So in other words, these ladies, in order to be able to do that, they have to come in at 5 o'clock in the morning. And we're thinking, maybe 5 to possibly 2:30, and that should give them the time, that they need so that they can put in their hours. And that's about the only thing that we can think. That way because whatever they make, if they're making biscuits, they have to make those biscuits from scratch. So, 50% of whatever they cook, it has to be from scratch. So it's going to take a little bit more time for them.
I don't have any questions. Anyone else? Okay. So I just need a motion to approve. I'll make a motion by Dusty,
I'll second.
second by Trevor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay.
Thank you.
Next item is the calendar. We need to
Wait, we need
discuss
a
that more.
moment. We need a moment.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Y'all want to cry?
What if we just don't?
No, I think it's going to be great. And I have talked to, as a matter of fact, and this is not on the agenda, but we already hired our new coach, and he is coming, our football coach, and he's coming from a 4-day week. And he was like, he was just excited that we're thinking about implementing this. And he was saying that once you go to 4-day, there's not going back, because it's the best thing,
Well, y'all have a lot of excited kids, because I've been asked by a
Yeah.
lot of kids.
So thank you very much, and, and we let's try it, and if it doesn't work, we can always go back to regular.
We'll make it work.
Okay, so, then the next item, the approval of the calendar for 25-26. I do have calendars here, but if we are already approving the 4-day, there's no need for me to even give you a copy of those. So this is the proposed calendar for the 4 days. So basically, pretty much what I reviewed a while ago, this is the calendar again. You guys can have a copy now. I don't have enough, but here's one, and then here's a few
You
more.
might have to share and look on with each other.
Can I have it? I'll do it.
I don't think you'll get to make copies of it just yet.
No,
You'll
not
get
yet.
them tomorrow in your email.
Oh,
Not yet, so after this, we will discard just in case there needs to be any changes,
I just
okay?
want to see when I.
So if you can see, the teachers will start where they have the first 3 days as professional development. The kids will be here on the 31st, is the first day of school. They'll be here on the 31st and the 1st. In August, every day will be, and so as you can see, the gray is the days that there's no school. The teachers will be getting a calendar like this, and I know this is going to be kind of difficult, but this one here shows them the times that they need to be here from 7:30. We're gonna do 7:30 to 4:30 every day. And this one here, it's pretty much, there's days that they have 34 hours in a week, but then the following week they have like 41.2, so that kind of offsets, the weeks. And so the teachers will be getting this. However, this one, I will have the approval for the next board meeting. I'll request for approval on that one. And then September, again, we have the 1st as Labor Day and the 29th as the Fair Day. And you could see the days that we have off. October, the 1st, the 9th will be the end of the 9 weeks, then the 17th. So we have October the 16th and the 17th. The only thing is that because this one will go to PET, last year PET, they were very confused because we had, if you look on the 17th, it's shaded kind of like a peach color, and that's parent-teacher conferences, but we had it on the 16th and the 17th, so they thought, well, why are they doing 2 days? So they thought that we were not in school. But I explained to them that what we do is the teachers and the kids are in school, and then we do conferences at the end of the day. Then the next day, we have conferences again, but it's only from 8 to 12. And then, so we will do the same thing. So this calendar will be for PET. And then, I will do another one, something like this, so that, parents will be able to see this one, but we will let the parents know that conferences will be in the evening and then again the next day. November, now we have to take a day for, it's election day, so that is a national holiday now, so there will be no school on the 4th. And then we have the entire week, the 24th through the 28th, for Thanksgiving break. December, the last day for the students and the staff will be on the 18th. Okay, and then we have Christmas break from the 22nd through the 2nd. On the 5th, and this is a change from Dexter's calendar that I noticed. So they have the students starting on the 5th. So students come back on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 8th, and then their professional development, it's on the 9th. I think if we just give them that extra day, we've always had it like this, and I think it'll be a lot easier to give the kids the extra day and then, give them travel time. The students will start on the 6th, and then we should be okay. February, we have on the 12th and the 13th, again, we have conferences. The 12th in the evening, the 13th, and I believe we'll have conferences until 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And then the 16th, it is President's Day. March the 5th, it's the end of the third 9 weeks. And then we have spring break. Spring break, it's the same as the Roswell schools, Dexter, and Lake Arthur, as well as the university. So we all have the same spring break. April the 3rd, it's Good Friday. And then May the 16th will be our graduation for this coming year. However, just like this year, PED wants the kids to, well, actually right now, as long as we have the 1140, we're okay, but then the kids might have to be here a few more days just to come and pick up their report cards and just be able to do a closeout. And then the last day for all of the students will be on the 21st. Teachers will be here on the 22nd. We have no more early release for students because, they'll be here the 4 days. And then that's the end of it in May. So it's a total of 154 student days, which is 1157 hours, which, we only need 11. So we're good there. And for staff, it's 159 days, but there's a few more days that they have to be here on Friday.
Any questions? So we're getting, we're telling them they're getting every Friday off, but then we're taking the very first Friday.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think other schools have sent out a list, like these are the Fridays in school that we may have to put some of that education piece out there. Just so people can put it on their calendar that it's a Friday in school.
And Dexter did the same thing. If they miss like that Monday, they have to come on Friday.
Yes, correct. So we do have a typo here, and if you look on the right side, it says August the 7th, first day of school. It's actually July 31st. So that's a change that I need to go in and change and make. And this is our 4-day calendar.
Any other questions? Just a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Chris.
I'll second.
Second by Trevor.
Okay, so thank you very much. This has been pending so that we can start with our budget, which is due next week.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion carries. The following janitorial contract?
Yes, so the reason that I want to do this, we did discuss a little bit at the last meeting. However, it was never, we kind of tabled it. And so we are considering contracting with Quality Janitorial Services for the 25-26 academic school year. So based on the quoted daily rate and, our projected number of student contact days, the total contract amount is as follows. So previously we had discussed that the daily rate will be $579. That's what they will charge us. And we had discussed that we would contract them for 180 days. However, I have a number of service days, possibly 164. My plan is just to have them here to clean up for the students, but there might be a few more days that they need to be here and help out. So the number of service days will be 164. This is a total of $94,956. And with the tax, $7,199.35. So the total contract will be 155.35. So that's 102, and then we have another 103, which, for the custodians that will be remaining. So that gives us a total of about $205,000 for the year. Currently, we have an expense of $298,000 with the custodians that we currently have. So we will be saving some money on this. Again, the plan is nobody is going to be left without a job, because I do have one who is leaving and another one will be helping in the maintenance department. And then one of them will be going into the cafeteria. Then I will keep 3 of the custodians, 1 in each school. The 3 lady custodians that will be staying, they will be cleaning the cafeteria, because next year the plan is to have all of the students be at the eating breakfast in the cafeteria. The elementary students right now, they've been eating breakfast. It's called breakfast after the bell, but it's really just kind of like a sack breakfast. And now, because they are going to be making more food from scratch, the little ones will be able to enjoy that in the cafeteria as well. So the 3 ladies will be cleaning the cafeteria right after breakfast. And then they will also clean, all 3 of them will help each other and clean right after lunch. All 3 of them will be, cleaning the field, and then the gyms will be done by Quality. So we should be good. And then each one will have a school and whatever they need to do, clean the bathrooms, the hallways, anything that needs to be done. The rest of it will be done by Quality at the end of the day, like from 4:30 till about 8:30 at night.
And will they come all 5 days?
They come out, no, they will come 4 days,
Okay.
only when the kids are here. So I'm seeking approval so that we can contract the company and move forward with them.
Any questions? Motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Trevor.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, that's it. I see a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Good night, Trevor.
Elon Musk.
And Dusty. All those in favor say aye.
How much
I
money do
know
I
I do
do?
because of the savings.
So you know, that's
24.
like, what did I say today? The last minute was paper something, so we're last minute on this.
Oh, yeah, that was the best.